I was shooting for a job within the fitness industry as a fitness director in America, and working on luxury cruise ships, and that was a massive stretch for me, because I didn't know that you could get a title. I think when I was younger, to be a manager was like the big thing, and when I got the position as a fitness director, it was a great achievement for me. And what I had learnt by achieving that goal was really having that goal and then achieving it. It felt like it was so far away that there was no. It didn't seem like I could achieve it.
So was it something where it sort of set a precedence for you that, you know what, these things that I actually do envision are actually possible in that sort of sense?
Yeah, it really set the stage for me to model my future adult life, I guess you could say. And I've always been going for things that are far beyond, like, the craziest things. I had never heard of $1 million budgets up until about maybe 5, 6, 7 years ago. No one spoke about that stuff, and the people who I had associated with had never really, they don't talk about that kind of thing. So for me to be a part of that kind of conversation nowadays, I think it stems from when I made decisions when I was younger.
Right. So those sort of really pinnacle points where it sets the stage for you, but gives you that shift in thinking, which we were talking about in that business growth seminar, sort of those shifts in thinking about how you can start framing moving forward with your business. And how do you see, like, that moment? It's obviously something that you reflect on occasionally in your work. Yeah. And you think those kind of moments are really important for people to reflect on, to sort of...
Absolutely. One thing that is prominent for me is really using those times of silence to really jump into reflection, and really, how shall we say, using it as fuel.
Right.
I do that a lot. So I find that the most painful situations can be used as, people just say fuel, but I'm just like jet fuel. It's when you're in so much pain, you can use that as just to propel you exponentially.
Yeah. And they also, at the Business Growth Seminar, we talked about finding your why. Mm-hmm. And that was an exercise of sort of, for people to find what their contribution was with the kind of impact that they would have. And you had a go at that. You said you're still formulating, but would you like to share sort of kind of where you're thinking? And I know for you, it really ties into your doing good story. So maybe you can sort of talk through that and sort of what that means to you with you're a very purpose-driven person, what that means for you.
Sure. I think one thing that was, my third story is linked to an example of when I was in Portugal and I was training in a car park and I was looking at this lamp and I was trying to figure out what was wrong with my why at the time. And it was, how can I make money to help people? And I thought to myself, well, what's wrong about that statement? And the statement, and the words were, how can I make money? So I was just like, how about I remove those words? And what am I left with? How can I help people? So massive breakthrough for me at that point in time. And my why really stems from how can I help people? And it really, it comes down to empowerment. It comes down to knowing yourself, having that mindset, and really just helping people.
You've said power a couple of times now, and I know your business is Consult Empower.
Yes.
So power, I think, has a really strong significance for you. Why do you think that is?
My heritage, where I come from. Yeah, so born and raised in New Zealand. There's a lot of powerful things that happen there.
so you know how to do a haka?
Yeah. So
those are very powerful. I've seen them.
yeah, so there's a real sense of power, as it were, when you draw. So in a haka, you're being taught that you draw power from your ancestors.
Yeah.
So in different hakas, you do that. And so I believe that comes from my heritage, my culture.
Oh, amazing. Oh, that's a really great background. We all have some sort of background, so I think it's great to be able to tap into yours and lead it. And what about your purpose? Let's go back to that a little bit. You guys are doing a lot of work outside of running your own business, which is exhausting in itself and takes a lot of time. But I know that you and Amalia actually go a step beyond and over that, and you actually give back to the community. Can you share a little bit of that with us?
So it all stems from doing good to other people. And I think that's important because I think especially for me, when I was growing up, there was an opportunity that was given to me, and I wanted to give back in that sense as well. So it made sense if I was building or creating a company, I wanted to be associated with giving back, because that was did unto me when I was a child, and I'm a big believer of helping people, yeah, by giving back.
What kind of work do you guys do in the community?
There's lots of things that we do. Highlight one. Well, so the tuk-tuk ride. So coming back to Sri Lanka, we're doing a tuk-tuk ride in September, and what we're doing there is we're taking all of the funds that are raised and we're delivering that into people, into communities in Sri Lanka. And one thing that's important from my side is I have a lot of skills and talents to do with coaching and teaching, so I want to take my skills to Sri Lanka and get a hold of the leaders and the teachers in that space and teach them what I know, so that they can teach the community. So that in turn helps them.
Wow, I'll be interested to watch that unroll. That sounds fantastic. Yeah, great. Is there anything you would like to share as far as just how a lot of the giving back that you guys do and how that actually gives you power in your business? How does that give you power on an everyday? You know, why would you sort of coach someone, a regular person, a regular business who's already exhausted, to actually take the time to give back? What does it do for you?
I think there's a sense of fulfillment. There's a sense of empowerment for myself, and really it brings peace and joy to me. And I have that, there's a value that Amalia and I talk about, which is integrity and love and compassion. And that's where I feel where we do our best work is in that space. So how does that match around? I don't actually know.
It's hard to put into words.
Yeah, it's very difficult, but I think what's important is really identifying values, and then whatever the path is moving forward, as long as it's in alignment with that, I think you're on the right path.